Hello and welcome to the highlight of the Sophus3 year, where our eDataXchange team reflects on how the market has performed in digital over the past 12 months and provides ideas and tips for the year ahead. I'm Scott Gairns, the Managing Director of Sophus3, and this is the first in a series of insight videos that we are creating while we wait for our face-to-face events to start again. I am joined today by our Head of Insight, Patrick Fuller, Chief Analyst, Tanya Hodgkinson, and Analyst Sab Robson to give you our view of best practice in digital marketing. My thanks also to our automotive editor, Paul Ruthishauser, for his work on this project. To help us to explain the forces at play, we have split our analysis into three pillars: digital, campaign, and market. And we'll start with the most important one, digital. The first thing to say about the past 12 months is that the car industry has significant blind spots in how it measures digital audiences. Official data, such as Adobe and Google Analytics, suggests that the number of visits to Big 5 brands was down by nearly 6% last year. But our eDataXchange analysis shows that the decline is not down to falling audiences, but rather a reduction in tracking. Too many of us are pressing the reject cookie button. Our modeling indicates that car brands' website audiences are being undercounted by between 20% and 50% depending on your cookie permission implementation, which means that car brands can only guess at the true ROI of their marketing activities. In a world where digital efficiency is already at an all-time low, this is unacceptable. And Sophus3's privacy team is working with key clients on a consent-free analytics solution that we will soon make available to everyone. Our first digital marketing recommendation of 2022, therefore, is to consider new ways to count your visit and drive improvements in ROI, something that is particularly important as the market continues to be volatile. Just look at the way the digital audience fluctuated last year, with a huge improvement in March and April last year, but then a loss of momentum which culminated in the final quarters, driven by poor sales and supply chain problems.
Even within these numbers, we see further inconsistency between different markets in the Big 5. Spain and the UK showed growth, but France and Germany lost traffic compared with 2020. It means that digital customer management, with all the complexities it brings, has never been more important, and our second digital marketing recommendation of 2022 is to establish a process of continuous improvement of the customer experience by repeatedly mapping KPIs to what matters in an e-commerce world and highlighting the relationship between digital and physical. The leading car brands in Europe do this frequently throughout their organizations, from their leadership teams to digital to marketing and CRM teams. And their objective is to identify who owns each element of the customer journey across the organization and ensure that everyone is working to the same understanding and objectives. We recommend that it is part of a continuous process of training and coaching for your entire organization, sponsored by the marketing function and based on accurate data to develop your digital and e-commerce skills. We see the importance of this approach in the basic metrics of the past 12 months, namely visitor behavior KPIs such as bounce rate, visit duration, and the number of pages viewed. They are all following the familiar trend, which is a useful reminder of how critical it is to engage quickly and decisively with your customers.
The way that people shopped for cars in 2021 was very much in line with what would be expected in a car market under stress. Most visitors viewed model pages, but few progressed to the configuration stage, and searches for dealers were even lower. The percentage of visitors to either request a quote or consider a test drive was down significantly over 2020, which itself was an exceptional year of instability. The brands who are performing best have recognized that departmental silos are working against a smooth customer experience and put in place new measures to counteract it. They are putting more power in the hands of their finance teams, whose ability to attract a customer with a competitive monthly price can mean the difference between a sale and a lost opportunity. So our fourth recommendation is to promote your finance offers as strongly as the design and features of the car itself, finding new ways to communicate the affordability of finance in a premium and customer-friendly way. The finance-centric mindset helps teams to focus on the realities of car buying, including the relentless growth of smartphone usage. It's essential that all teams involved in the customer journey visualize it on the small screen with minimal loading times and calls to action.
Our exclusive breakdown of visits to vehicle model pages by segment shows that SUVs remain the body shape that most customers want. Elsewhere, city cars showed an increase in online interest, which translated into increased sales. And we saw growth in visits in mid-size executive cars, which can be attributed to the strong performance of a single model, Tesla's Model 3. The proportion of traffic to the model pages of electric cars is encouraging, at least for brands who are investing heavily in the transition to EV. By year-end, a record fifth of all visits were looking specifically at battery electric models, and about half of that interest translated into an actual purchase of an EV model. It is clear that consumers are interested, but there is still some way to go before many of them see EV as a practical alternative to conventional power.
We've already touched on the frustrations of marketing teams who are trying to achieve return on investment for their campaign spend. We saw a committed return to digital marketing activity at the start of 2021, and all of us were hopeful that a revival was around the corner. Over the year, the spend on staples such as print and television advertising did increase, but as the monthly breakdown of activity shows, it reduced significantly in the second half of the year, even falling below the levels of the previous year in the final quarter. The explanation is all too familiar. Semiconductor shortages means that the industry did not have the cars to sell. We can see from the table of spend that brands which overcame production difficulties, such as the premium German brands, plus Toyota, Kia and Hyundai, could justify marketing spend where others could not. Renault was once again the top spending brand and continued to heavily promote the Zoe, particularly in the key EV market of Germany. The fact remains, though, that the marketeers are still making decisions based on habit as much as accurate data. And our fifth recommendation is for marketing teams to push harder for improvements in the way that in-market visitors are identified and managed. There is too much complexity across too many stakeholders for a truly accountable approach to digital spend, and we need to invest in emerging technologies such as machine learning that have the potential to transform the quality of insight. Less than 1% of visitors to car brand sites perform a significant action during their visit, which is a painfully low conversion rate when you consider how much money is being thrown at the problem. As well as clever marketing campaigns, brands should also be investing in online tools such as live chat video and virtual assistants, where the challenge of cookie consent and personalization can be overcome with good old-fashioned human interaction. Our data shows that human contact in the digital purchase journey is just as likely to achieve a sale as the quality of the car itself.
Our final area of focus is the performance of the European car market in 2021 and what it tells us about the months ahead. Sales got off to a strong start in Q1, and it seemed as though we were finally shrugging off the impact of the pandemic. At the midpoint in June, the European markets were showing a cumulative 28% improvement over the disastrous year before. However, from then on, vehicle sales went into 6 straight months of decline, and by year-end, the same markets were down almost 2%. Compared with 2019, the last pre-pandemic year, those countries were down a staggering 3.7 million sales, and powerhouses such as Germany suffered the biggest decline, down 10% over 2020. As diesel sales continued to plummet, down a further third over the previous year, electric vehicles were the fastest growing area of the market. In 2021, European sales of pure battery vehicles increased by 72%, with Tesla the predictable winner. The way that the Model 3 dominated the mid-sized executive segments, pushing aside the Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series and Audi A4, shows for the first time that EVs are moving into the mainstream. After another roller coaster year, it is clear that we must prepare for more of the same. For those who have ongoing issues with the supply of products, that means managing expectation of customers. For who have stock, there is a tactical opportunity that can be unlocked using digital in an agile way. The shadow of COVID is still upon us, so in both cases, brands should continue to prioritize investment into virtual technologies and digital transformation. Our final and most important recommendation for our clients is simply this. Improve your understanding of your digital performance. Our most successful partnerships are with OEMs who use data in a consistent way across all of their teams, not just sales and marketing, but also leadership and support function. We know how easy it is to get confused with the sheer volume of metrics and KPIs, and it results in teams pulling in different directions as they measure in their silos rather than understanding the role they play in the overall strategy. It is essential to organize data in a unified and simplified way, a process we call one KPI language for all, and we'd love to talk to you about it over the coming months. In the meantime, we hope you have found this insight useful and look forward to sharing further insight from the eDataXchange platform. So thank you for listening, stay safe, and see you in person very, very soon.